Hey guys, welcome back to LitCode once again. In our learnings, we have learned like how to create a dashboard and how to get the user info from user, of course. And also in previous video, we learned how to segregate the data, right? So uh, we have now like we can now get this kind of data, right? So we have this to-do spec where within that we have few tests, within that few details are there, right? So this is that particular section, the left hand side section, right? So the this one, so we are going to build this now, not the entire UI, but I will show you how to get this name, get this and this. So let's see how to do it. And we are going to make use of this each array concept. So if you have time, you can go and check it out, this documentation, or else just leave it to me, I will take care. It's just simple thing. We are just going to use the key, because everything we have in the object we can refer to the key will give us that particular value. Now let me give a quick recap. So we have this group result where we are storing based on the file path, then followed by the file path, the suite name, and then followed by file path, test suite name, and the project name. And at the last we are just pushing all the result, like whatever the data we have. So here you can select this array, right? So this array details we are passing to the, and whatever we have accumulated we are returning as a result. So this is the group result function is doing. Now here I have just called that function and I have stored it in variable and I'm just displaying that. So that is what you are seeing here, right? Now what we are going to do is we are going to pass this to our data, because data is the actual template takes the data and convert that into the HTML file from the HBS file, handlebar file, right? So we'll have to pass that. So let's pass it now. So we'll just name it like group result and then followed by again the group result. Okay, so that's it. This is how we have to pass. This is from here, from the group result function we are getting the group result and we are just passing this. Now I don't want the console log, so let's delete this one. So this auto report part is over. Now let's focus on the template HBS file, right? So what we have currently is like we have like one column. So this is one column, but we want to segregate in two column. For example, this left hand side is one column and this right hand side is one column, right? So let's do that. It's going to be very easy. Of course, you can take help from ChatGPT or you can go through the documentation. Still, I'm aware of this thing. I'll just do it by myself. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this entire column, and here I'm going to select div dot column. So I'm going to create a column and then followed by again I'm going to create a column, and within the second column I will paste whatever I have. The cards will be now within the second column, and in the first column I will just add all the test detail. Right now, how we want to do it? So basically it's your creativity. I felt this list view will be very easy to go through, so I'm going to follow the same. Okay, so this is basically my detail and summary HTML tag. Okay, so let's do that. Before that, of course, we have to look through each and every data, right? So for that we are using this group result, and I'm going to make it here. Sorry, yeah. So now we have each in the sense like has the name suggest, for each, for loop, for iterator, whatever you say, like within the array, like the given array, it will loop through each and every data. Okay, so that's a very simple thing here, right? Now let's go back. So first of all, here we are going to create a detail. So detail in the sense like this is collapsible, right? So this can be expand and collapse. So this is basically your detail and summary HTML tag. Okay, so within the detail we will have the summary tag. Okay, now you can format the code always. Yeah, within the summary tag, so first of all we have to show the test file name, right? So I'm just going to name it like at key, and of course I have to use the double curly braces to show the data, right? So this is going to be my first key. So first key is basically our file name. You might ask me, hey Kaushik, you're just passing key, how does handlebar know whether it's a file name or it's a spec name or it's a project name, right? So that is how we have segregated the data. For example, if you remember yesterday, we have passed list, right? So first is my file name, then followed by its test suite name, then followed by its a project name. So that is how we are going to fetch one key at a time. Okay, so this is how we can display our file name. Within the file name, what we want, within the file name, we want to show our um, list of test suite name, right? So here I will just create a unordered list first, and then I will create a list, and I want to loop through the list, right? So what I'll do, I'll just again add each block here, and now we are going to focus on this in the sense like it will go and take the parent array. Okay, and then I'm just going to move this around here, and within the list, what we want to do, within the list again, we want to have this within the detail and summary, right? So that we can expand and collapse, correct? So again, I'll say like detail, then within the detail we want to get the summary, and summary again, of course, it's a key. Okay, so what we have achieved, we have achieved this is going to be my test file name. So I'm just going to add a dummy id. We should not add id because id should be always unique, but since I'm doing it in a loop, it will be obviously it will be in a static multiple data, which is not unique, so we should not use. But just to show you, I'm going to do this. Okay, so let's name it like test file. Okay, this is going to be my test file, and this guy is going to be my um, test name. We can name it like test suite. Okay, and yeah, so we are able to get the test suite. Now within the test suite, again we have this list, right? So we have two lists. I mean, it can be a number of lists, but we have this unordered list, and then we have again the list, right? So let's go within the details. Now again, I'm going to have my unordered list where I'm going to have my each block, and within the each block again we are going to focus on the same parent. So we'll just go with this. So this will now focus on this one. Okay, and here I'm going to say again, I want to create a list where, so this is also again detail and summary, right? So I'll just say like detail, and within that we are going to get the summary. Okay, now this summary is going to be my project name, so I'll just add it like project. Let me add it, say project. Okay, and here again we are going to visible that, I mean make it display, so add key. Okay, so that's how we can bring all the data. Now what we have the test file, we have the test suite name, and also we have the project name. Now let's go and run this. Let's see whether we are able to get it or not. I'm going to run all the tests so that we'll get like huge good list, so that we'll understand what to do. Okay, the test is completed. Now let's go and refresh our reporter, and here you can select we have got our to do spec, and within that we have all our test, and within that we have like Chromium and Firefox. Within that empty because we didn't add data anything. And why we are getting Chromium and Firefox, in the sense like if you go to your playwright config file, so we are running based on two projects. One is the Chromium and another one is the Firefox. Of course you can add any other if you wanted. So we are able to get it, but UI doesn't look ugly, and this section is basically just move towards the right. So let's go and fix that. But before that, yeah, you know now how to get it correct. So once you click on this this thing, you are, yeah, so this one, right? Okay, so we're going to fix it. Let me quickly show you how we can fix it. So it's basically with the help of a class name called content. So for example, if you go to the Bulma documentation, and if you go to the elements, and then if you go and this one, if you go to the content, you can select if there is an order list, or DL. What is DL? I forgot. Anyways, doesn't matter. So for all those we can use the content class name. So I'm just going to have that now. Let's go back to our HBS file, template file, and wherever we have the list, we will use the content. Okay, so here I have a list. Let's add a class called content. Let me copy this, and here also list, and then here also on list, right? So we'll just add a class called yeah, that's it. And I don't want this column to spread like half. So by default, it will spread in two halves. But if you see in Autonomy report, we have this one. This one is basically one size and this one is another size, right? So if you go to the Bullmont documentation and if you go to the columns and then followed by the sizes, you can see like we have various sizes. So I believe I have followed this 2/5 and auto. So let me copy the 2/5 and this column I'm going to set as 2/5. That means this will have like 2/5 of portion and rest of the things will have like half of the data. Okay, so let's go and run this now. I believe this time the UI should be little bit good. Okay, it's already 12 minutes, so I'll just wrap this now with the UI. So yeah, let me give you a quick recap until it executes. Okay, so in the group result, we are just grouping based on the file path, test suite name, and the project name. And in the last accumulation, we are collecting all the result. Why we are collecting all the result in the sense like, because in future, of course, we want to display all the test result. Once we click on the test, I mean the test block details, it should show the relevant screenshot, the status of the test, all those, right? So for that, we are just passing from here. Now, I just call the functions and stored it in a variable called grouped result, and we are just passing to our data where it will generate based on the template. I mean, yeah, it will take the compile source and it will pass the data and it will convert the HBS file into the HTML file. And in the template, what we have done is we have segregated the UI in two columns. So the first column will have my all the test detail and the second column will have all my summary. So I can add a comment here. This is going to be my summary and this guy is going to my test detail. Okay, so now let's go back and refresh our page. Now you can see yeah, this one is formatted but this one is not formatted. I think for this also we have to add the content. Let me quickly show it from here. This one is formatted, this one. Okay, so here also we have to add the content, I guess. Let's see. Should be sequence. Yeah, anyways, I hope you are able to get the things. It's not perfect, but yeah, at least compared to the previous, it looks nice, right? So it should be like it should have all the test detail. We'll add that in a moment. Okay, so yeah, let me change the focus here. So you can just add the columns wherever you want. So that should fix your class equal to content. And here also let me add, so class equal to content, and this one is content and this one should be also content. And yeah, that's it. Okay, now what we are going to do, so within the project, right, so we are able to get the file name, we are able to the test suite name. Within that, we are able to get the project name. Within the project, we want to add the test details, right? So that is how we can see in the Autonomy report, right? So how we are getting the test name, in the sense it's very simple, since in the we are already pushed the test result where the result already has this title, right? So we are just going to make use of it. So within the HBS, so this is where we are showing the project name, right? So now I'm going to give all the test blocks. So what we can do, again, we can create an ordered list and then we can have a list, and the list should have like each block. So let me add each block, and again this is going to focus on the parent. This keyword we'll use, right? And we'll move the list over here. Yeah, and of course we'll add the class content. Similarly, we'll add this to the li also, and here we can just bring our title directly. Okay, so here we have used the key basically will, like, these things will act as in key. Okay, so that is the reason we have considered that to be like object, but these things we have to call the name, because this result will have like lot of things, right? So again, it will have this title. In future, we'll add the more details. It will contains all this. So we have to be focused on what object or object variable we want to call. Okay. Now let's go and run this one more last time. And I haven't committed this code in my GitHub repository because this is going to be very similar to Autoni report, which is already available in my GitHub. So you can go and check it out. So this is just for your learning, and don't copy code from here. Write your own code. I mean, do write yourself. Don't just copy paste and then try to modify. It's waste of time. You won't learn anything. So rather, just get it get from the first video and try to do whatever I'm doing. So that will be really helpful. And of course, to do the changes in the UI, of course, you can go with your creativity. Okay, so I'm going to close this because I believe it should work fine. Yeah, so within the demo, we have this new to do. Within this Chromium, we have this all the files, right? So you are able to see, like, you can see here, right? So should allow me to do this one. So we got this one. Okay, so that's it. We are pretty much done with the lot of things actually. So you can see we are able to achieve the left hand side, we are able to achieve the right hand side. This should go in the right hand side, but no worries. So you understood like how does it works. And this formattings, this thing, always you can do the formatting, so not a big deal. Start quickly. Why this is not sure. Yeah, so once you add the content, you can see like now it's basically have a very good UI, right? So you can see this is what you have to achieve. Okay, you can just go and add the content here, but of course this list is not looking great compared to the Autoni report, because Autoni report has custom style. So I just want to bring this to the right hand side, this expand and collapse, I want to bring it to the right hand side, and I don't want to show the list notation or icon, whatever you call it, like this things, right? So this is looks ugly. So I have a custom CSS for that particular portion alone, but of course feel free to show your creativity. I believe you can do it. Okay, so that's it for this video. If you have any queries, feel free to ask me in the comments. I'll be happy to reply. See you in the next one. Bye bye. Take care.